Great.
I'm glad to hear that. Alrighty. So Lucio Brig, a lot of main sport work. Just curious, why'd you reach out for coaching? What specifically do you think you're looking to improve on, and just anything else about the heroes?
So I guess to kind of go for the first question is, um, I've been playing main support for different teams for a couple months now,
Mhm.
and I have indeed, uh, I would say, progressed in both like in-game rank and kind of how I view the game. I
Mhm.
think organized play helps a lot with growth.
Absolutely.
Um, but I recently, like last season, a couple of weeks ago, I reached GM on support, and
Awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. I don't really feel like I can stay constantly at GM level.
Hmm.
I do think I could probably play support in a Masters level fairly comfortably and just
Hmm.
stay there forever, but that's, not necessarily what I want to do.
Absolutely.
So, and in regards to what I would like to focus on is, I feel like I have a very hard time as Lucio, kind of transitioning in between. Do I want to go on a split with my hit scan, and make sure they're safe, versus should I go with my tank and kind of enable them to be more aggressive, to reach the enemy faster, stuff like that,
Got it. Got it. So decision making for where we want to put our resources is Lucio. Okay.
Mhm.
Was there anything more specific? You wanted both Lucio and Brig, and then was there anything more specific with Brig or?
I mean, I think because Lucio is and has been for the longest times
Yes.
like
Yes.
hard meta, I would argue it's okay for us to just kind of focus on Lucio.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't think he's gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
No, I completely understand the reasoning there. Uh, Beat is just really good. Speed is so important. Absolutely. So yeah, we can just look at Lucio. I don't know if you had any stuff for you had mentioned Jetpack Cat. We don't have to, and it would just kind of be more so bouncing ideas off of each other, more so than coaching. If you had anything that you wanted to look at, but obviously we can just do a whole thing with Lucio,
Mhm.
which is perfectly fine.
Oh, also, I would just kind of like let you know that I have played since reaching out,
Mm-hmm.
like scrims in which we do play Lucio. So if you think maybe because of, you know, uh, changes to the patch and maybe balancing, I don't
Mm.
know if you want to look at more recent games rather than the one I sent you initially. It's up
I
to you.
would I would say the recent games, like the biggest thing I'm gonna guess is just dealing with the new heroes. And so if you have any questions about that, I think those codes would be useful. But other than that, Lucio would be the same in between old patch and new patch.
Surprisingly, I think from the games we played yesterday, I don't think we played a lot of the new characters, other
Interesting.
than
Okay.
every once in a while. Uh, mm, Scrims have been a lot of Vendetta, Zarya,
Absolutely.
Lucio, Kiri, Soj. So
Yeah.
pretty standard. The
Hmm.
core Soj, Kiri, Lucio has been pretty kind of standard in a sense.
Hmm.
Let me uh, I can send you the codes if you want to
Yeah,
take a
we
look.
can look at those. I have the World Cup match that you sent me pulled up if you want. But yeah, whatever we want, it's your time.
Um, you know what? Let's go ahead with actually, you know how it's supposed to be easier to kind of keep track or like VOD review games in which maybe it was either close or you straight up just lost.
Hmm.
I mean, yesterday's scrims were not uh
Oh, interesting.
incredibly they didn't go too well for us, so
Hmm.
maybe we might be interested in looking at those
Okay.
instead.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me share.
Okay.
I just sent you a code for Numbani. I don't have a lot of experience scrimming in this map compared to like King's Row or
Hmm.
um, Lijiang Tower, the usual suspects.
Hmm. Well, no worries. I definitely I know a lot of classic Ana break setups on Numbani, but I mean Lucio break control the same areas. Just obviously there's the difference of speed and there's the difference of Brig's a bit more bulky, um, and whatnot. But besides that, we're looking kind of like can like I look at your guys' comp. I was like, can I help my Genji? Maybe I can help my Diva. If it comes down to it, Freya's kind of self-sufficient because she has so much movement. But even so, same thing as like, can I help my Soj? Like, there's so many people. and there's so many things you can do as Lucio, and it's kind of why Kiryu Lucio is just so freaking good. Is there's so many jobs that you can pick to help with that we're gonna kind of narrow it down to: are you playing in the best position for Lucio, more so than like who are you helping? If that like helps at all, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna look at it from that perspective because we were talking about earlier. Is do I split with like my Genji? Do I like help my tank get in there? And this is obviously Diva's a little different than like say if you had a Ram or something, because her boosters help close the distance more so than like Ramatra form and whatnot. But same principle, same idea applies. Is like a lot of people on your team would benefit from speed, and so like let's see how we want to use it, how we want to set up.
If we do this right,
All right, let's go ahead. Oh, let me get though.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Turn it up, Defend
All right, let me
objective
slow
A.
down. So yeah, let me just see initial splits, what y'all got going on. Diva's ready to hit on height. My Freya's probably gonna swing super wide. My Kiri's gonna help Diva main, and then we're gonna help Genji in this. This is so fine setup. From here, we're just gonna see how we play it, how we use our resources, how we use our amp, how we use our speed, and how we want to use our boots. Oh, is that just feels like a team play thing, especially because it's scrim, where like your Genji dashes, but you're just kind of late to lag behind, either because of communication or something else.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were calling out at this point. I do remember eventually looking at, through the wall on the left side and
Hmm.
seeing my Freya very, very alone.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, maybe next splits we can do something about that. Maybe I can go over there, help our Freya do something, or at least
This
make
is
sure she can
it
get
was
out.
certainly aggressive, and I think if he had, I don't know if he communicated this, but if he had gone with his Kiriko, I think it would have been fine. It would have worked out really well. But obviously, Kiriko goes to help my tank. You go to help my Genji, and you could have chose between Genji and Freya here, absolutely. But this space is just gonna feel so much better for your hero. Like you want to play in here. Like the Winston walks in here, he gets booped out of zap range. If the Genji commits, you can speed past the Winston and help on the Genji commit. Just like inside this room as Brig or Lucio, it just feels really good for your character. And so, yes, you technically could have been on this angle helping your Freya, but I also think that like you have kind of this wall to hug, and then after that, like what? Like there's just all this open expanse of space that you're gonna have to try and cross to get on top of an Echo Lucio. Like it doesn't feel as good for your hero as it does here with Genji, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I this is something I kind of
Mhm.
actively think about whenever I'm playing Lucio is, I definitely don't want to be like extremely far away from the enemy,
Mhm.
and Lucio is more than capable of like holding space and making
Absolutely.
sure that nobody can just take it for free.
Mhm.
Like I am very, very comfortable like in this room with Lucio. Like I don't feel
Absolutely.
like I'm gonna die instantly. I don't feel like I'm gonna blow up.
Absolutely. And so what you and Ginge are doing, it's like important. Like this Winston, like his best targets are going to be this Freya, which is kind of weird. She presents herself like this, but like this Winston has to mark y'all because if he doesn't, like y'all's hit onto even just trying to deal with this Echo Lucio. It's not the best setup, but even just like trying to clear this, you can clear this Tracer, or we can start working towards Kiriko, and he would like rather get on top of this Kiriko, but he can't because of Diva, so he's like, screw it, I'm gonna mark y'all, and everything's fine here. It's just it just seems like miscommunication or something when like my Genji dashes to like try and save my Freya who's on an aggressive angle, and so it just looks more so like miscommunication errors from your team and whatnot. But like we haven't gotten the opportunity to misplay basically. So yeah. So just reset, go again. Oh, it's unfortunate.
Crank up the game. Catch these healing waves.
The call here was, yeah, I'll go with
So
my hit
your hit
scan.
scan's asking for this, and I'm worried because we've talked about, this space just doesn't feel good for Lucio, and so now I'm curious what we ended up splitting was. My Kiri now this we're just gonna give up on this area, which yeah, because my Kiri's gonna be forced to TP if the Winston pushes her. Okay, but yeah, she just gives up entirely. And so the Diva Tracer Kiri gonna set up for main, and so my Lucio hit scan are gonna try and take this, but like we said, this space, you know it as you're doing it. You're like, this is really scary because I don't have something to deny long sightlines, basically. Like I don't have a room to like cut off this echo. I'm out in kind of echo space here. And so it doesn't feel good. And so your team is like, hey, we really want to do this. We really want to do this. But I think it's perfectly fine to calm like, hey, I liked room. Like I can go here with like Diva, or I can go underneath with Tracer, because that's another close angle that we can work with. But just I appreciate I'm gonna help my angle, I'm gonna help my hit scan, but this is just an angle that's not gonna feel good for Lucio. And so if we die here, I think that's really what we can be scared of. And I think you're playing it well so far. Yeah, like we're just getting poked out by Echo. We're eating stickies. Like I don't think y'all are gonna be able to make any progress on this side unless Tiger starts hitting some crazy shots, basically. Yeah. Thankfully he trades it, but yeah, it's like, yeah, so that's a communication thing, and it's like feel free to be like, I kind of don't want to play here, basically. Like maybe if I don't know how much Wu Yang you played, but like Wu Yang might feel better here, just because you have like a little bit of space that you need to like hit your orbs and stuff. But I think you had the right idea going with your Genji and Room, because it just feels good, you know? It just feels good to go underneath. It feels good to go on top. It's where your hero wants to play. And yes, where this Freya is, she kind of wants to play here. It's a longer sightline. She's got a pretty decent setup. You might just be like, hey, you're gonna have to play it slow. You have to play it careful. Like you have Mega. If you need help, like fall back to main or something like that. I think is like the best thing that we can do to help our setup here.
Okay.
Switching track.
If they want this point, they'll have to go through me.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Immediately we start playing better space, and like, yeah, we got a trade earlier, but like immediately we play better space, and even in like dangerous situations, like we were face to face with Kiriko, we could have got headshot. We're face to face with Echo a couple times, we could have gotten fold sticky. But like the space of like inside here and like using verticality to duel people close here and cutting off long sightlines, like that's Lucio. That's what's gonna feel good, and that's what we should be like aiming for with the hero. It helps to like, and we're looking for someone to help. We were like, we want to support, we want to give people speed, we want to give people our aura. But I would caution against, it's not generally worth it to support on angles where you just can't do anything. Unless there's the caveat in higher level team play, like your hit scan will be one of the more vulnerable ones during like enemy support ult pushes. So in that case, what you're doing is you're preparing yourself you're on a longer angle, but you're preparing yourself and your hit scan for the fact that they're going to push your hit scan with the support ult. Or if you have a Zarya, same concept. So either you're closing the distance and taking short angles on the enemy team, or they're closing the distance and taking short angles and getting into your effective range because they have a support ult advantage. And so this next fight, Kitsune is going to come up and Beat's going to come up eventually. And so if we get in a situation where we're like, okay, my most vulnerable player right now is going to be my hit scan, and we're like, they're probably going to beat push, they're going to Kitsu push, and they're going to try and get my hit scan out, that's when they're coming on top of your hit scan. So if you want to pocket your hit scan and just kind of play it carefully, you can boop them away, you can speed your hit scan out. That's extremely valuable. But it's only good. It only feels that good because they're closing the distance. They're coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Mm-hmm.
earlier, there's no support ults or anything, so you're playing longer angles and trying to like poke out, but like obviously you have no fall off, but still it's a slow projectile. It's not the easiest to hit at range, so you want to find ways to close the distance. So that's kind of the only caveat I want to mention is like we're always looking for ways to hold shorter angles, hold aggressive contested spaces, and then if there's a support ult online, we can kind of think about, well, they're going to come to us. They're going to come to my hit scan. So then it becomes a short range contested space, and my hit scan still benefits from the speed and the boop that you offer, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Does that help like clarify some of like the like where should I be basically like?
Yeah, no, of course. I'm thinking because hit scan,
Mhm,
so just very much still very meta.
absolutely.
I am wondering whether or not, I mean, I think usually from my point of view as a Lucio if we have a Sojas, she doesn't really want to play really close. So I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna start the fights, or
Mhm,
ideally after I position my hit scan wherever they want to be,
mhm,
um, by getting them there through speed or whatever.
mhm,
Um, I probably don't want to stay there because where my Soj wants to play,
mhm.
long range hit scan, medium to long range hit scan, it's
Yep.
not where Lucio wants to play, right?
Right.
I think my main issue, or one of my biggest issues rather, is that, you know, kind of knowledge that, oh shit, okay, my hit scan's already where they want to be, but the minute I think I've been kind of punished, like
Mhm,
in scrims, plenty of times in which I held my hit scan position, and then the enemy team, whether it be with cooldowns or ults, they kind of close the distance,
mhm,
and I'm no longer with my hit scan because I thought, okay, hey, my hit scan is where they want to be, long range.
mhm,
I can move up, I can be more productive,
mhm,
but then maybe it's just a matter of I'm not tracking the enemy ults as well as I should, or
mhm,
I'm not thinking when they want to use it. But
mhm.
um, kind of like that Freya, and I was gonna say like when my Freya was over there, um, would she
Yeah,
have
you could feel it. You're like,
died
I
if
don't
if
really
I
want to
hadn't
be
been there?
here. Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if that's something that kind of falls on me, or is it just like on my DPS? But like
It'll come down
I don't know.
to, especially higher level fight. It'll come down to fight planning, I'll say. So
Mhm,
going into this next fight, hopefully we're like they have Kitsune, they're gonna have better beat. And
mhm,
so my hit scan is more vulnerable, but we can match Kitsune, but we're not gonna get beat up. My hit scan
mhm.
is more vulnerable, and they're probably gonna close the distance onto my hit scan. And so I'm curious to see how you play it, and then you can also just communicate like if like you it's not terrible to just trade your hit scan. I like it. It's not the end of the world because if the hit scan sets up aggressively, it does a lot of damage before the support ult push, and like you are able to help elsewhere, then you can trade out on the other side if that makes any sense. So like
Yeah, yeah.
if you decide pre-fight that like I can't set up to help my hit scan effectively, then that's fine to set up aggressively with either your tank or your flex DPS or what, just on space that you like. So as a general rule, I appreciate that. Like I like this space. There's just the caveat of when support ults come out and they're going to like come and cross the distance and get on top of people, that if you kind of play it right and look around the map and like get creative, it can still feel like a decent opportunity for you, even though your hit scan would be on a longer angle. That they're all there, and you're going to get massive boop value. You're going to get massive speed value by getting your hit scan out. So we'll take a look at it some more, but yeah, as a general rule, absolutely, you want to play where your hero wants to play. It just like sometimes with support ults, it can change a little bit from the enemy team. Is the only
Of course.
caveat I want to add. So yeah,
Okay.
chasing staggers. Oh, did you get called to payload? Oh no, Kiri's on. Okay. So right now, just commit. I think okay, we're heading over to our Freya, but I thought you were already here, so I thought we were going to commit to helping our diva because this is again really good space for us. And then if we want to
Mhm.
help our Freya because we know there's support ults online, it's funny because the Freya, I don't know where he's going to peek from, but maybe he peeks from like here, or maybe I don't think he's going to walk through building the peak, but like sometimes the map will give you this where like the hit scan technically has a long-ish angle, but you don't have to be on top of your hit scan. You can kind of play like rooms or corners around them, and then that will help you prepare for beat rushes and stuff. So you're not like exposed to like being shot at beforehand before dealing with Kitsu rush or beat rushes on your hit scan. So I think we're coming over here to help. Either one's fine. We could have helped Diva, we could have helped here. So let's just
Mhm.
pick here and let's just help here. That's fine. Yeah, because we're helping our Tracer and our Freya. This is pretty nice. This kind of feels um like we're getting sidetracked with other things. I think, did our Tracer get forced out? Our Tracer had recall and stuff, but like you can communicate to your Tracer, and instead of like walking across here to help your diva who just got bubbled, which is I don't think that valuable, but besides the point, like you were here, so I think it's fine to communicate and talk with your Tracer and kind of hold here, and then you and Tracer can walk through room to continue deepening, and we can maybe run into this Kiriko. Maybe we can like find a way to close the distance onto Ash by using like an amp speed to get across or something like that. It's just because this I think I'll look at it from Ash's perspective. I think she has a sight line on this choke. Yeah. So this is, you can see how this, wait, no, that's, yeah, you're, wait, where are you? Okay. Yeah, you are in LOS of the Ash because you crossed across the gap into like her sight line. And so you can see how that would be dangerous. So like when you committed to left, I think I just wanted to see you stay on left because crossing is almost always extremely dangerous and you just have to be very cautious about it.
I agree.
Mhm.
I understand what you mean by like crossing the lanes. It's almost always punishing. You almost always have to use something to cross safely.
Mhm.
Um, I think maybe this is one scenario in which I felt like crossing that lane, especially after we got, one of them down, one of the DPS down.
Mhm.
I feel like it'd be very, very difficult to punish this, me crossing right now. I am full health.
Mhm.
I am. It wouldn't be too long of a time for me to. But in general, I completely agree, and I am very well
Mhm.
aware that crossing lanes, that's when you get punished, right?
Right. So even okay, so I agree, I appreciate the thought of like in terms of like you being punished. I want to also
Mhm,
offer the opportunity cost that you lost by crossing the lanes. So we're gonna help Diva instead of being able to help here with our Tracer. And this is like you said, we're up one, so it's not the worst thing in the world, and you probably will or will not get punished. I mean, Ash would have to hit 2 crazy shots, like it's not like the most likely thing. So it's not the worst. It's not the like say it's a bad play. It's okay. I just would like to offer up even more so than getting punished is the opportunity cost that we gave up to like completely finish this fight by wrapping with our Tracer, which I think they don't have recall, so maybe they wouldn't have wanted to go. Yeah, they don't have recall. So, but like even just like more pressure onto Kiriko back there to force a TP or a Suzu, and take the Ash's attention away from like my diva here and stuff like that. Just thinking about like even so, crossing here is not the worst decision, and we are helping our diva, but we were already set up to help one of our other teammates, and that
mhm.
opportunity cost, that time that we took to cross, is more so what's important here than the fact that we could have been punished. I think I would just the only thing I would like to add to that reasoning.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
When I do those kind of splits, say I go with my tracer and or I am with my tracer rather,
Mm-hmm.
and the call has not been made yet for deepening that angle with the tracer on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the same way I want to play in the physical locations that benefit Lucio,
Mm-hmm.
close range spaces.
Absolutely.
Um, I do play hit scan a fair amount,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really play tracer. I don't feel comfortable telling my tracer, "Hey, we need to deepen this angle now." So is that call like should I be making that call? I don't know. I don't feel particularly
I
comfortable saying, "Hey,
think
we need to deepen this angle now."
You can offer it, but especially at this level, the tracer is going to, I think, correctly like deepen or shallow depending on enemy attention and the resources you have. So you can offer it here, but I think the tracer would be like, I don't have recall, I can't. But even just like we don't have to make an aggressive push onto the Kiriko, even just walking through room and shooting at her with Tracer Lucio, and we might kill her or might force Suzu. So like the Tracer, we can walk here, but like we don't have to commit because we don't have recall.
Mhm.
Instead, we're gonna finish off a monkey who's probably already dead, honestly. Um, when we like, so the fight's completely won, and so maybe we're just getting in the like the minutia here, but like it's not the worst thing in the world to recognize that, hey, I'm here on my angle, and we can either like LOS them completely and just kind of turn shoot monkey. Ooh, my camera's acting up. So we can just like cut off cover and just like kind of walk. I mean, you can walk forward to like, yeah, you can walk behind bus and just shoot at monkey instead of crossing the open. Or we can be like, hey, Tracer, we have a free lane. Nobody's marking us. Would you like to rotate? And like, even if he doesn't go, I think you had amp at one point. We don't have amp, so maybe we're also a little cautious as with our Tracer because our Tracer doesn't have recoil. We don't have amp, so we can't like full engage. We can't like commit to killing the Kiriko. But even just swinging the corner, even just putting out pressure that might force Suzu, might force TP, I think it's worth. Is
I
the only
agree.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, the fight was won, but just like we'll keep an eye on like how often do we cross lanes? How can we help on our lane? Yeah, so we'll clean up the fight. That's unfortunate. Ooh. I know we're kiting, but even when we're kiting, I think because we were set up on left, I think the safer kite is almost always on your angle. So we kite like across into like a different angle. I think your safest disengage is to rotate back, usually on your own angle, which could be through room or you can just wall ride on this thing, and that would generally keep you safe. So just keeping an
Yep.
eye
Agreed.
on fighting on our angle, helping what's on our angle, choosing the right spaces that we like for our hero, and then just like making sure that when we're pulling back attention, we're pulling back on our angle. We are on our angle instead of crossing the open because yeah, every now and then some ashes will hit some good shots. All right, massive support ult fight coming up, so decision making is going to be interesting here. All right, where do we want to set up? Where do we want to help? This is fine. Nice. No, I thought you played this pretty well. So we talked a lot about our hit scan and stuff, but what you ended up doing is I like this space. I'm Lucio. I like this verticality. I like this closeness. And so you were getting heal aura. You were getting boop value on Winston. You're getting heal aura on your tank and your Kiriko here. I think your Tracer just came in, but maybe you give it to them. And so your hit scan just either got back or just committed to playing distance. And so if your hit scan is not in an aggressive position, then you don't need to think about this like helping them during the support ult fight, if that makes sense. If your hit scan had decided to kind of like peek aggressively here to try and bait either a Kitsu or a beat push onto him, then this would feel good for you for boops and such. But because I think he played it very well knowing support ult fight was up and he was obviously prior to target number one, he just played extreme distance, so you don't need to help him. I think that we can summarize it as pick the space that you like that's the most aggressive on the battlefield. I think that can kind of summarize the whole rule, whether it's supportal or not. So we liked this space here as Lucio, and it was the most aggressive on the battlefield. So helping here is good. If you had been stuck back here on your Freya, being like, "Oh my gosh, I hope they don't like beat push. I hope they don't Kitsune onto us," that probably would have been a throw because you would not have gotten boop value on Winston. You would not have gotten heal value on your Diva and your Kiri here, and Primal probably would have been forced, or not even forced. Like he probably could have honestly just gotten zaps and zaps and zaps on like Diva Tracer or like Diva Kiri, and the support ult fight wouldn't have been kind of a neutral stall so far, and they might have gotten more value. Is the way to see it. I think yeah. So if we can put it into like one sentence, pick the most aggressive space that's good for your hero. I think that would be like the biggest general rule for Lucio and Brig.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva.
Yeah, so this is a couple times now we've decided to cross lanes. So like we want to help my diva, but we like this space here, and we're like we have to close the gap, but closing the gap this way is terrifying. So what we can do is we can think about, do I want to amp speed, or maybe not even amp speed, but just speed, and help my Tracer here because this is closer, and I don't have to commit out into the middle of the open. That's just an idea, because I think there's also a way to do this rotation that's less scary. Yeah, we could have used like payload or something and like maybe avoided, getting our hedge blown off. But just it's how can I close the distance to aggressive space without, peaking Ash LOS or without, being headshot by a Kiriko on the way over, if that makes any sense.
Yep. No, I completely agree.
Okay.
I do think crossing this lane was definitely a bit of a blunder on my part. Like, I do not feel comfortable crossing this lane at this moment.
You have made it here though, and so despite everything, it is aggressive space and it is close. The only thing is we don't have our amp, so this may or may not go well. But I'm curious to see how we play. Oh, well, I should have. My bad.
Blew up immediately. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
yes, yes,
that's fair.
yes. Or yeah, we can just do that. I've done that a couple times where I just talk like way too soon and then something really dumb happens right after.
Keep the paper moving.
Thank you. Yeah, you can fight in the room with Diva. Yeah, nice, 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 nice. Poor Diva doesn't want to help. All right, next spot. Yeah, so this is an example of like if your Freya ends up on this height, we were already here and we like this space. So if you're helping your hit scan here, it's perfectly fine. And it's going to feel really good for both of you. Oh, she ends up not committing. Oh, am I slow? I am slow. This is fine. This is fine. Yeah, I mean, the times it feels best for us to help our hit scan is just we were in space that felt good for us. So, like, this Winston can't kill my Freya because I was here. If you were not here, this Freya may or may not die. Again, if he had committed top here and someone had tried to, like an Echo or a Winston had tried to commit onto your Freya here, you can help tremendously here because this is space that is good for you. So, yeah, this fight has been really good so far. I'm curious to see what we do for this one. Yeah, Winston dies. He's like multiple times trying to commit onto your Freya, and you just can't get to her. And I think part of that is what you're doing. So really good work. Most of your aura usage has been good so far, but just like this fight, maybe it got hectic or something. You've been on heal aura for like even when you were moving, basically. I think as a general rule, it's just useful to be like, am I moving? Speed aura. Am I not moving? Am I just kind of fighting where I'm at? Heal aura, if that makes sense.
I do agree. I do think, especially recently, I've been kind of going through some, I mean, even 300 hours into Lucio, like
Mm-hmm.
growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for whatever reason, I feel like my, you know, crossfade has not necessarily been the most optimal. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because I'm trying to focus on different things in my gameplay. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I agree. I do think
I mean,
generally,
yeah, I hadn't noticed. I didn't mention it like earlier because I hadn't seen anything earlier. But like maybe it's just like the cleanup of this fight or like the chaos or something. We were just kind of on heal aura for the whole time, even when we were like moving from place to place. Even we were like going aggressively and stuff. But if this only happens once, it might not be too big a deal. It's just something to keep an eye on.
wait, I have used beat. How come it says zero ultimates used?
You definitely use B. I think it just now went one. Oh wait, no, you're red. I think it
Okay.
lags. I think it takes a second.
I'm coming up
Because
with my
I
notes. Okay,
swear
never
I've
mind.
noticed
Sorry.
that in my own games as well. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you definitely use B. That is interesting. Yeah, this is fine. That like if your Freya wanted to hold there and you wanted to help her, that was fine because it was aggressive space and you liked it. It was up to either of you there, and you just decided to commit to helping your diva, which is also fine. But that's just another example. There are moments and there are spaces in the game where both you and your hit scan kind of like basically. So that's probably when you want to help your hit scan the most. Good patience on beat. Oh no. Oh, we get out? Nice, good. Yeah, no, really good fight. Let me slow down. Okay. On cart duty. Nice boo. Oh, this is chaotic. Oh my gosh. Alright, so their recontest is good. But also, I think you push cart until they touch it. And you're trying to get the C9, and so now they're touching. I think my first reaction is to get off of cart. Because from here on out, we just need to win the fight, and they're the ones stuck having to come to cart, which is the worst spot to be right now. And then your options are kind of limited. Like third point of any escort or hybrid is going to be pretty rough. But your options are either to like trying to kite back to left room or try and like make the rotation across the midi. That's like the only thing I have here because you're stuck cart pushing. So when the fight actually starts, it's just very difficult. And so if we want to amp speed to some other aggressive angle, that would also be good here. But yeah, we just get traded because we're stuck on cart duty. Oh, do we win? Oh. That's unfortunate. Okay. I'm trying to think. Is it worth to boot Domino? Especially when her shield's up. I don't think that boop's as valuable as you'd think it is. Especially because she was one of the tanks that got the reduced knockback passive. So she's not going to get knocked as far, and even if you knock her past her shield, it's still up, and it's up for a long time basically. If shield is gone, and you're trying to boop her in your team, I think that would be very valuable. But I'm just not as convinced if that one was that much value. That could be a new hero thing though. So yeah. Also careful, she's still a tank. She still she still has, as long as she has push, she's really dangerous up close. And the gem thing, I forget what it's called, but so she's still a tank, even though she's like one of the squishier ones, one of the longer ranged ones. If you're a squishy character, just careful about fighting up in her face, because if she has those cooldowns, you can't just get bursted down.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I don't think you're gonna have to be forced to touch now. Oh, we don't have beat. That's unfortunate. It's whatever though. Yeah, just a couple of things with like a couple of times we crossed lanes. It was a little dangerous, a little scary, and it usually ended up getting us killed because it's a high level play. And then even when we talked about like when do I help my hit scan, when do I help my flex DPS, my tank. And then we saw even on this map there are examples of where there are sightlines sometimes where your hit scan wants to hold, which actually can benefit you. And so if your hit scan's the most aggressive space and that space is kind of good for you, absolutely help your hit scan out. If it's your tracer, help your tracer. If it's your tank, help your tank. Doesn't matter who it is, but the most aggressive space that is good for your hero is basically what you're trying to find with your position at all times. I think that can be like a good summary of like how to position as Lucio. And then there was some learning, some growing pains here with the new tank, but that's fine. And then was there anything else that we saw? Oh, we're gonna keep an eye on Aura for the rest of it because yeah, it was good for like the whole first half, and then there were a couple of instances where maybe we needed to bring it up in the second half. But yeah, those are the main things.
Yep.
0 to 2. Switching.
Ready. All right, where do we set up? Where do we want to help? Yeah, we can help our diva. This is good space. So if our diva wants to hold choke, yeah, we can absolutely help here too. We're confused about it. Feels like our team is just confused about where do we want to fight and commit to. So my tracer. Okay, my tracer's
On the
helping
bottom.
underneath.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I was like, I thought my D.Va was gonna hold choke, but he's getting early scouting, clears Tracer, all good. And then he drops. Okay, he's coming back. Okay, so I was just confused about your team and stuff. So yeah, your options are going to be helping up top with your D.Va, or maybe if you want to get crazy, helping your Tracer underneath. Both are going to feel good because where your Freya is playing in this long angle just is going to be where your hero feels the worst. Nice. Yeah, just be annoying. Do a lot of nice. Good boot. There you go. That one, I thought she didn't have shield because she had used it earlier, so I was like really excited because I thought she was gonna die. But that you had the right idea there. Yeah, this is really annoying. There's shield. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nobody's
Maybe I should have stayed closer instead of dropping. My thought process here is
I think it's your Kiri's job, but he's getting marked by the Tracer that either came from underneath or coast. I think that's the biggest issue with what y'all got going on right now is how do we mark coast? Lucio's not going to feel great. I think it's going to be your Kiri and your Freya's responsibility. And then just kind of general choke and maybe left side and main are going to be D.Va, you, and Tracer, basically. Also, your Tracer, I think, is late, too. Oh, the Jetpack Cat screws him up, I'm almost certain. I think he's going to hit on the soldier, and the Jetpack Cat picks him up. So this could also just be some new hero issues here. Yeah, like he did like dash into your aura, but really it was because he was over here trying to help your Kiri, and everyone was losing over here because Jetpack Cat shenanigans and the Tracer got through without our Tracer really marking him. Oh, let me get back to him. You don't need to touch. I think maybe it's stallable. Maybe we can come back for last one. I would have just played life and like try to play mega and stuff, and maybe regroup with my Tracer, or we could like commit to helping our D.Va. That's a little scary though, especially at our current HP and no amp, and that like we'd have to try and wall ride into here. I think your best option from here would have been trying to live for next touch and maybe catching up with your Tracer.
okay.
But yeah, it was probably lost just to jetpack shenanigans and Freya Kiri. Oh, nice recontest. Let me actually watch this. That's alright. Oh my gosh. Wait, another one? I doubted y'all. Oh, big holes. Yeah, never mind. Oh my gosh, are y'all gonna get another recontest? Okay, no, that was crazy. That was an insane almost recontest. Holy frick. Y'all should be proud of that. We're just gonna mirror. Alright, yeah. So we're gonna find most aggressive space that we can help out on. Yeah, so we can commit to helping our Tracer as we can. And we're gonna go help our Domino. Yeah, this is all good. Nice boob. Nice. I hope
Maybe not nice.
I'm gonna say I think I should stop saying nice because I think he just booped about a post pop, which is kind of funny.
No, yeah. Okay, so at least in this fight, from my point of view, it's like, okay, we committed lane. I mean, they're not looking at me. I think it'd be fairly easy for me to kind of go on the side, boop him, still make sure they can't clear the corner and get to safety. I think the idea is not the worst thing ever. Like, a bit
I
unfortunate.
appreciate all the thought, and I think you're really close. Oh, my Ash is in Narnia. That's why. Okay. Okay. Because yeah, I think this works a lot better if everyone's here. My Domina's fighting their Dom. Yeah, like 2 of us can't even use Kitsune Rush. It might just be a nothing burger, and it also kind of hurts because we're so close to beat. But this is another one, like, if we're going to close the distance, we don't have beat, so we have to think about our health and stuff. Maybe we kind of play around pillar here a little bit. And I know it hurts to not be, like, on top of them, but, like, just this space, this open space here just sucks. And so that's what's going to get you killed. And if we want to, like, break down the nitty gritty, like, just make sure that, like, when we're closing the distance, we're using cover where we can, and we can, like, kind of duel this Tracer Soldier a little bit better with our Tracer's help. But I think, like, the TLDR, like, team play wise is, like, yeah, my Ashe is just not set up to really contribute during this fight, which is just kind of unfortunate. But yeah, it's like a minor detail. I wouldn't worry too much about this. Also, just feel free to be like, did y'all? I don't think y'all mirrored Kitsune. I think y'all started Kitsune, and if so, it's because
I can remember.
I believe we started Kitsune, and so like just kind of like a minor team play macro thing. Yeah, we started Kitsune. If you're this close to beat, you can just tell her, hey, can you wait for like till I get like 95? And when you get 95 on beat, and we know like so we have Kitsune, that we know they have Kitsune, but we know that they don't have beat. This is getting kind of like really out there. But if we can track up to like those 3 ults, like do they have Kitsune? Do we have Kitsune? And we have better beat, then we can Kitsune and Kitsune match. And then if you have beat on time, you can beat, and then that's your advantage, and that's your window to kill like Soldier or kill Domina, basically. So if you can communicate with your Kiri and be like, hey, I'm like, can you just wait till I get like 95 to beat, and then you can Kitsune. Especially, yeah, we just need to wait like a couple seconds. I think she's in danger or something. No, she just had a really good lane for Kitsune. Okay. But yeah, if she can kind of just wait like just a couple of seconds, and then my Ashe can get here and we can charge beat, like I think y'all win this fight. So that's just something we can think about team play communication wise. Example of you're helping hit scan. It's just cat, and everyone's getting used to cat and stuff. But a good example of like, hey, I'm able to help my hit scan because this is space that's good for me. Nice. Mayo just staggering out. Nice shot. Oh, now we're on double hit scan? What in the world?
Yep.
That's going to be weird. So then, yeah, you're like, who do I help? You're probably just going to be stuck trying to help your Domina. Especially because we're no more Tracer to even consider. Your Widow's on a hyper-aggressive angle, though. The problem is, like, your Widow's only going to need help if they come for her, basically. But yeah, this is just getting a little hyper-aggressive from your Widow. So, like, technically, you could help this angle. It's just... thinking about like how Widow can use speed's a little weird, but basically it would be like if anyone like tries to close distance. It just sucks. Yeah, it just sucks that yeah, your team went double hit scan here. But I mean, it's not the worst part of the map to do it. Oh my gosh, visors from Cat. Good beat. Yeah, everyone's getting goofy with the new heroes. All right, how are we gonna hold this for 3 minutes? You can also like solo hold good spaces for you. I'd have to check if your aura like works like this. But you can like obviously even if it doesn't work because it's being blocked by this or whatever, we can like wall climb around here and stuff and give aura while we're still looking to mark like any jetpack cat or any soldier shenanigans. Even if there's no one there directly to help. Good boob. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, you're still getting hero aura values. It's beautiful. Thank you for breaking it. Yeah, it's really good. I don't have anything to say. Oh, we're stuck here though. I mean, if you want, you can like beat push out of here. I'm curious what y'all set up. Oh,
I
you're
don't
just
actually
kidding.
remember what happens here. No. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. I think there was an opportunity there. You're like, if you talk to your team, you're like, I'm stuck. Do y'all want to beat push? Something like even something silly like that. Because
I
I don't think you're making it. Oh my gosh, never mind. I should never have doubted. Ah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think the fight's lost off that. Because like unironically, like especially when I look back at it, I think this is a huge beat push opportunity here. I know we're down one, but they have nothing, and I don't. Their dominance use shield, I think. I
yeah. The
see it.
reason why I did not beat
You'd have to
I mean,
talk about. You have to tell people about it, obviously. But like, it looks crazy. But I mean, you see the vision here, though, right? Like, it's a
yeah, no, no,
4-man
absolutely,
V.
absolutely.
I can boop their dominant in. Like, I think this could be fight winning here, basically. But
Oh, I completely agree, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
I promise you, I did see that opportunity,
Hmm.
but when the shield went down, I'm like, that window is closed. I cannot no
Like
longer
our
do this.
dominant shield.
No,
I'm
theirs
there's.
right here.
Oh. Hmm.
I'm like, if I use beat in this second, it's useless. So I'm not gonna do it.
I wonder if since the nerf to the shield panels, I don't know, because yeah, the shield is her big survivability.
But no, I completely agree. I think
I
if I
I
had
would have I would have I play much crazier and I play like I do a bunch of stupid things. I would have considered it, and I'm glad that you at least saw it and consider it because I think there's a real opportunity here. But yeah, you're seeing what I'm seeing, and so like we could have calmed this to our team, and
mhm.
yeah, it absolutely an opportunity to be here.
Because like from my point of view, if you go back like
Mhm.
I don't know 5 seconds, I know my team could definitely with the push this. I think it was also kind of on me because I wanted that Domina to just walk slightly more because the minute she kind of clears this corner, if she had not put that shield up, and I mean, of course, she's gonna put that shield up, it would have been so easy to just walk on her and
Mhm.
she couldn't just like go back into the corner and kind of just get out of there easily. But
Especially
I,
when
I think
there's
I
new heroes, new updates and stuff. I always encourage experimentation. Um,
mhm.
I don't know how they'll change Domino. I don't know how they'll nerf her and such. But I mean, we know about the shield health nerf, but I wonder if they'll do anything else to cooldowns or gun or whatever. Um, I always encourage experimenting. You saw the opportunity and you're like, eh. And so now basically we have no information about whether or not it could have worked instead of like it didn't work. Well, okay, we can do this again, or maybe we can do this better. I guess is my biggest thing is like if we're aggressive and we make mistakes doing aggressive plays, we get feedback. But
Okay.
if we are so passive, which you haven't been for the rest of the game, I was just like, this is just an example. But like if we're so passive that we're like afraid of making a mistake and we don't like pull the trigger, then there's not much feedback, I guess, from the decision, if that makes any sense.
No,
It's
I
like
see what you mean. I
I
see
played a
what you
lot
mean.
of baseball, but like if you never swing, like you'll never swing and miss, but you'll never hit a home run.
Of course,
Just
of
like
course. Yeah.
general analogy. Anyways, I think maybe loss, maybe recontest. Oh, not the Sombra swap. Yeah, it was out of nowhere. Nice. Yeah, I think it's lost here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, good. Alrighty. Alrighty. Were there any more codes, any more heroes? Anything else you wanted to talk about specifically with Lucio? And then
I
I
mean,
can leave notes and stuff in the Discord as well.
anything glaring that apart from what are your notes?
Mhm.
I do agree. Major points definitely. Um, well, I don't want to actually answer for you, so you go ahead and tell
Well, I mean,
me.
no, it's your session. It's your like. I'm curious because I kind of need to hear like where your brain's at and what's clicking with you and what maybe can we help clear up some of the confusion.
So, in no particular order, I do
Mhm.
think the lane transitions.
Mhm.
going between lanes. I do think I could be a lot. I could be more mindful about when I do that and how careful I am doing so. Like if I want to go back, I don't have to actually cross the lane. I can just stay on my lane, just go back to a safer position.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's something I could definitely work on. Number two is even when my I guess instincts tell me, hey, I could go here and help my tank because they're low. I should
Mhm.
probably just kind of rein that in a bit and say, okay, where do I want to play as this character?
Yeah.
Where am
Yeah.
I getting the most amount of value?
Mhm. No, I like that note a lot. Yeah. And so I always try to like one sentence summarize it to like give. And so for Lucio positioning, pick one. It has to be the good space for your character, and the most aggressive, like the most aggressive space for your character that you want to play in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the most aggressive space that you can play in, and ideally someone else is there. Yeah. While not
Ooh, the most
dying,
aggressive space you can play at.
without
It's
dying.
even
I
better if
should.
there's someone with me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, yeah, I agree. I
Without
agree.
dying. I should like don't like Reddit Lucio and scrims. That is
Of
not
course.
what I that's not what I said. Coaching. Do not take that from
How
me.
how possible, or maybe not possible, how common do you think it is that maybe there are compositions that include Lucy in which you're not really gonna have someone to kind of check a lane with?
I think it would be like the worst possible Lucio maps, in which case like Circuit, like just sniper matchups, Circuit,
Mhm.
Havana. That would be your worst possible matchup. And that unironically, I know I just said don't Reddit Lucio, but like if you're like, screw it, I'm gonna play Lucio here, that's probably what you're gonna have to do. Is like I'm gonna
Okay.
have to Reddit Lucio. Cause like, yeah, it's either I gotta close the gap on them or they gotta close the gap on me. And obviously a sniper's not gonna be looking to close the gap on a Lucio. So they're even on like Circuit and like Havana, there's like still kind of rooms and stuff, and there's some rotations you can make. They've changed that a little bit on first point until you get around first corner, then I don't know what you would do. But yeah, there's it's just how can I if I can't find someone to support on aggressive space, how can I find a way to bring myself towards that aggressive space without dying?
Hmm. Okay.
Alrighty.
Um, I mean, I don't know if we're out of time or
Um, Time's up. Um, if you had anything quick you wanted to see from like a video or something, we can absolutely cover it. Or any questions about new
um,
heroes or anything like that?
I mean, uh, yeah, sure. New heroes. I feel like Jetpack Cat. I think is fairly strong. I
Absolutely.
mean, I don't think they played a lot of Jetpack Cat on the Korean boot camp. Um, I am kind of surprised. I think maybe the pros are still kind of acclimating to what you can and can't do with the cat.
Yes.
Um, well, what are your thoughts in general, like play styles with the cat?
With the cat?
How different is it from Lucio? How I mean, it has more mobility than Lucio, that's for sure.
Yes, yes.
It has the best mobility in the game.
In the entire
Um,
game, yeah.
what do you recommend, like a general play style for the cat?
Okay.
Do I want to be like just like Lucio, just like Brig, or do I want to be maybe
I think it'll definitely be important to abuse your survivability in terms of like you have a responsibility, and I think they might nerf some healing and damage numbers, but I think because you have the best mobility in the game and you can be anywhere, it'll become your responsibility to put yourself in the craziest and most outrageous angles that like nobody else could support from. I think that'll be like kind of cat positioning wise, and then obviously the verticality aspect. We'll see a lot of cats like sitting on roof slides and like setting up like above buildings and stuff, and they just can't be interacted with until it's time for them to kind of like pounce down at people. Um, so I would say it's going to be like Lucio Brig. You're going to try and abuse your survivability. You're going to try and put yourself in the most aggressive spaces in that similar aspect. There's going to be the additional caveat of verticality, and then the next most important thing I think will become how we utilize tether. And if you have any questions about that, we can kind of like I have a couple of ideas and a couple of brainstorming stuff. Obviously, everyone thinks of like tether my hit scan, tether my bastion, tether my
tank? Yeah.
insert tank. or like insert tank here, insert ult here. I will say I think that tethering bastions and hit scans and kind of just having them like AC 130 in the sky, I think it won't be the play simply because the
Agree.
hit scan. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen it from the hit scan's perspective, but they have no control over their movement,
Hmm.
so they're just reacting to every movement on their screen while they're trying to hit moving targets, and I just don't think it'll be something that can actually um,
Like it is not
it's not
100%
feasible.
comfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
Yeah.
feasible. Yeah, it doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't seem
Um.
feasible. I don't think it's possible for even the best hit scan players in the world to.
So this is a kind of relevant question for both Kat and Lucio, and I would argue to a lesser extent Brig. I feel fairly comfortable playing a Lucio that is kind of more reserved, basically never fucking dies, just pardon language.
No, you're fine.
Um, a bit of a turret Lucio that is there for the backline. So backline's gonna be fine. If something dives the backline, I'm gonna be able to speed out. I, of course, the ideal Lucio in a sense
Mhm.
would be able to, go on an off angle with another DPS, enable them, and then quickly come back to the core and help them when they need that. But I think that's probably one of the hardest things for me to like get a grasp on.
Mhm.
That and I know I mentioned it earlier when we started the VOD. Same with cat. I feel like if you tell me, hey, with the cat, do lots of heals, do lots of damage, play aggressive, go for hits with the melee perk, I think I can do that. I think I
Mhm.
could be fairly comfortable with that. But that just kind of implies I cannot uh like provide resources to my hit scan or my tank or whoever else. I have a tough time transitioning in between that. Okay, do
Mhm.
damage, do lots of healing, get aggressive in the fight, and then also, having paying attention to someone in my team that may require
Mhm.
my either amp speed or my tether or stuff like that.
I think this is the trap, and it's going to be with Cat and Lucio. In that because you can do so much with your mobility and your cooldowns, that you're tempted to want to do everything. So you're like, I want to
Hmm.
help my flex DPS, and then I want to come back and I want to help my backline, and then I want to go forward and help my tank. And I don't think if you watch the best Lucios, that's necessarily what they're doing. I think they're just really, really good at when they make their decision to help wherever, they're just the best at playing Lucio in wherever they pick, if that makes any sense. And so, especially when you have a Kiriko, it might not be in your best interest to like speed back and peel for her because she kind of needs the TP to you to get out of danger. Um,
Hmm.
um, and so you're thinking of the opportunity cost as like, oh my gosh, what if I don't help someone else? What if I don't help someone else? But you can only help in one place. You only have aura big enough to help one person, or like if you were a giant clump, you could help. But generally, you you can only put your attention and your aura and your help in one angle, one spot. And so basically, instead of being like, I need to help here, I need to help here, I need to help here, and you're trying to bounce all around the map, every time you're like bouncing around the map looking for people to help, you're losing the opportunity to help what you just left, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. I see
Okay,
what you
okay.
mean.
So yeah, I would just caution against like the I have to do this here and then I have to come back and I have to do this here and then I gotta go and it's very chaotic. And you'll get mad. I think you'll get frustrated easily because you're like, well, I could have done more. I could have done more. I could have done more. Just simplify it. Be like, okay, I'm here, and whatever happens here, I'm gonna help with it to the best of my ability. I'm gonna hit the boops. I'm gonna hit the shots. I'm gonna have the correct aura usage. I'm gonna hit the amp heals, and that's plenty. That's very very helpful. That's plenty for whoever you end up helping. Whatever space you help end up controlling, that is what Lucio's good at. That is what Lucio brings to the table. Um, and
I
that's
I
why
see what you
him and
mean. I see what
Kiriko,
you mean.
yeah, are some of the best options. It's because you take you help someone take aggressive space or you take it yourself, and then it's just really hard to like either remove you, get rid of you, kill you.
Hmm.
Like it's just really difficult. Yeah. So you're just some of the Kiriko and Lucy are just some of the two best supports at helping people control aggressive space, and that's why they've been meta for so long. That and their
So,
support ults. But anyways.
so kind of following up on that. Again, I do feel like as Lucio, I feel fairly comfortable holding a position,
Mhm.
whether it be, uh, you know, especially where Lucio wants to play that short close angle. I think a best example would be, first fight on Numbani attack when we were attacking, sorry, with my Genji. Like I knew I was gonna be there. I was constantly thinking, hey, the minute that Winston, I think they had a Winston at some point,
Mhm.
if he gets too close to the edge and he just jumped up, I can boop him down,
Yep.
and then he no longer controls the space, and it's just me and my Genji here. Like we should be able to control the space.
Yep.
I'm fairly comfortable with that. And like you said, I do agree. That is plenty. That is a lot,
Mhm.
right? But this is kind of like future thinking.
Mhm.
Okay, then what's next?
I
Surely
see. I
Lucio
see.
does not end there, right?
Uh, if we,
Or stop.
hmm. I guess I'm so used to like simplifying and like trying to make it easy that like when we want to expand, I think the next step and the higher up you go, this is 99% of Lucio. This is the bare bones. This is the majority, and so it's kind of just doing the basics really well. And then once we get into more and more advanced team play, our understanding of helping people and how do we play support ult fights will kind of add on some extra layers. And so we talked about when do I help my hit scan? When do I help my flex DPS? When do I help my tank? And so this gives like kind of a general rule. But even so, there's like if they have a DPS ultimate and I'm forced to beat early and they have better beat, how can I use my amp speed to play that better? If we saw
Okay.
it in this one. If we both have Kiriko ultimates and I have better beat, it would be advantageous to wait until I'm like 95 to my beat. And then so if you want to dig deeper into Lucio, I think there's a lot of like macro play that we can like start like getting interested in and start looking at. And that's really, really important because just obviously so much of main support, ult tracking, helping with fight planning, helping decide.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, I'm going to send you the Natsuki seminar. He did a really, really good seminar on how he thinks about like fight planning and stuff. And it was just really informative and really simple. And I've been referencing it ever
Mhm.
since. So I'll send that to you if you want to get more in the weeds with like ult macro and stuff. But I think Lucio is a lot of mastering the basics. Um, and so if you want to find more from Lucio and you want to do more, basically, I think when you look at professional Lucios and they're looking like it looks like they're bouncing all over the place, it's probably because they handled the job where they were and then they were like, well, I have to find value somewhere else. And so like say like you and your flex CPS win the angle, like their tracer recalls or something, and he's just completely out of the fight, and you're like, well, now what? Now you have to find the next aggressive space and the next aggressive space and the next aggressive space until you eventually win the fight. And so I think that might be what you're thinking of is where can I at this very moment help out the most? And so
Mhm.
that's just generally the positioning thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah, if you could send that over, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Yes, I will send that. Let me let's go grab it.
If anything, I do have kind of like one last question. It's
Oh no,
very macro.
absolutely.
It's
No, go
just
ahead.
a situation you'd see probably 10,000 times, especially with Q Lucio backlines.
Mhm.
In general, I feel like it is very much frowned upon to um, use both support ults in the same fight, even if
Mhm.
you stagger them like by 10 seconds. I feel like using or investing both your support, especially like unless it's like last fight and you're about to lose the map. Generally, I wouldn't be particularly inclined to invest my ult, either knowing that we're going to use both support ults, like one, then 10 seconds after the other. Even if we win that fight, that was a very expensive fight, and I don't think generally would be particularly worth it unless it's like, you know, win or lose. Like that is the last fight, and nothing else matters. What do you think?
Using both support ults in a fight is fine is if they're layered, I would say. Because what we saw here, there were a couple times they went jetpack cat, so it kind of ruined it. But if you're in basically a Kiriko Lucio mirror, what the support ult fight is going to come down to is you obviously want better Kitsune, you want better beat, but there's going to be situations where like I may instead of being able to kite an ult, which a lot of teams will try to set up to do if they're down an ult, um, or like we need to kite an ult because we don't have a response. Say they have overclock and we don't have beat, we're gonna need to try and kite this. Like we can't, or we can just try and match with Kitsune Rush and just try to run through the Sojourn. So it's a lot of that decision making. Is it's okay to use a lot of ults in a fight if they're in response to enemy ults. So I'd say say you get the most perfect fight, right? Like everyone has like 5 ults in a Zarya Vendetta This is gonna get really hectic, but bear with me.
OC, yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got everything, yeah.
yeah. Everyone has everything. So OC, Grav, Vendetta, Beat, Kiri. All right. We're gonna say that. What would you initiate with? I think okay. So one team's gonna initiate with Overclock. We're probably gonna respond with Beat and try to run down the Overclock. Or maybe we wouldn't because they have Grav. It gets really tough when there's 5. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
ignore the Zarya. I'm gonna ignore the Vendetta because Vendetta Sundering and Zarya Grav. There's a lot of going on. So we're gonna say Soj, Lucio, Kiri. One team can Soj Overclock, and we're like, we have Beat. We can just Beat and try to rush the Soj. They're gonna match Beat, and so now they have better Beat, and so we don't want to give up on the fight. Now we can Kitsune, and then maybe now they have better Kitsune, but also we got their Beat out. So we have Kitsune and Overclock. And so that's a lot. It's very complex. But it's okay to end up using a lot of ults in a team fight if they're kind of layered in like that. Like I wouldn't worry so much about, we use both support ults this fight. Well, yes, but they probably also use like Overclock and maybe they also use a support ult, So I wouldn't worry,
All right.
especially since the new Lucio perk where like you can save Beat a little bit and you'll have like almost 25 charge if you're using it for the right scenarios and stuff. I wouldn't worry too much about unless we like respond unless it's like 4 ults to 1, like those are the really bad ult fights. If you're responding like kind of ult for ult and it's like either 3 to 2 or like 2 to 3, that's generally kind of what you're looking for in ult fights. So like it can be a massive one and everyone can use both teams can use like 4 ults. But that's pretty okay, win or lose, as long as it's not like a giant discrepancy. Like we shouldn't be forced to use like 3 or 4 ults when they only use 1. Is what we're really trying to
Right.
avoid.
The layering part,
Mhm.
I agree and I understand. But surely there are, different values for different ults,
Mhm.
right? So if
I'd say
for whatever reason they
in
got
this
like Lucio.
specific mirror, Kitsune is
Okay, okay.
probably the strongest. Beats probably the second strongest, and then Grav, and then Overclock, and then Sundering in that order. I think if we had to try and order them, you can probably argue about Grav versus Overclock and whatnot, but yeah. So Beat is probably the second strongest ult. Going to be probably in any meta just because Kitsune Rush is so good. But yeah. I'm trying to think of like anything else I can add that might clear up some of this confusion. I think you had a question though, so go ahead.
Oh no. That
Okay.
was basically it.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess that's everything on my side. Thank you for going through the VOD and reviewing it with me. Appreciate the coaching. Um, if there's anything, you'd like to tell me, I'm all ears.
Oh no, just thank you so much for reaching out. I really enjoyed it. It was really awesome. And if you ever have anything with Jetpack Cat, obviously it's early, so I'm just kind of guessing and like trialing and stuff, and like listening where I see stuff. But if any Jetpack Cat stuff comes up, I should be even more well versed in a couple of weeks, and it'll be kind of like a skill to have to develop. So if any Jetpack stuff comes up, you can feel free to reach out to me, especially if you like this. If they like nerf Lucio and Brig comes back and you want to talk about Brig, that's perfectly fine too. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And if that's all,
Thank you for your time.
of
Have a
course.
nice weekend. Have a nice
No,
Valentine's Day as well.
thank you, thank you. You have a nice Valentine's Day. If you have anyone special, you have a nice weekend, and hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too.